What's going on, everyone? Today is November 22nd. It is Wednesday. It is your midweek review. We do have a short week this week. We have a bank holiday tomorrow, which is Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully, you guys have a fun Thanksgiving with the ones that you spend it with. Other than that, there is no call this weekend. So no trade group call this weekend on Sundays. We're taking the week off. Well deserved on our end and well deserved on your end. Take the time to rest, take the time to study if you'd like. But really, with regards to what's going on in the markets, we're kind of let it go. Uh, with tomorrow being Thanksgiving, it is keen to note that we expect price to kind of go into a low volume type of condition. So don't expect anything out of the market. Like I said, anything can happen though. But other than that, no call this weekend. Make sure that you know that tomorrow is Thanksgiving. It's not a day you need to be trading. Take the day off. But the rest of the week also, we don't really have a whole lot of expectations, but we're still going to give you what we're looking at with how everything's played this week so far. If you were with me on the live trading session yesterday and the AM or PM, and or today, thank you. Hopefully you guys got some insight and value out of it. It was fun. I like doing that stuff with you guys. I know you guys like it too. Before I get into the DXY, anything else, Henry?
That's it for me. Just wishing everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks to everyone who's part of the community. We'll express our thanks to you too. We're grateful for you all being here, learning and growing with us, and excited for what's to come the rest of the year. So we'll jump right into the review.
Alrighty, dollar. Henry, you tell me when my screen's good.
You are good.
Okay, so dollar, same thing. We were looking at sell side that got hit here in and around 104.3, 104.400, call it. We were looking to see if we could push up into push down into 103.470. We did within this week. We pushed down into that equilibrium on this higher time frame range. Did have a sell side target down here, but we haven't approached that yet. We are creating a weekly SIBI right now, so I'm going to note that wherever we close this week, mark that out as a SIBI. You might be wondering what this dotted line is, and if you go into a daily, you can see that those are those daily highs that we might use as liquidity. At first glance, we thought that we could potentially use this BISI as inversion once closing through it. Price isn't really having it. You can see today also was very sensitive to this 103.470 level, which is that higher time frame equilibrium. So we're starting to get some relief there. So I would like to see price potentially push up higher into this, right? That weekly SIBI that we might create, take some liquidity, and then potentially make a run lower again. And if we can get back below this BISI, same thing, right? Start to look for that inversion lower and then potentially back into some sell side targets. That's really it for me. I don't expect too much out of this week. I'm just letting it kind of close. Going to wait to see where we close. And then going into next week, my eyes are on potentially these daily highs to come and take it, to fill this weekly SIBI, and then potentially start going lower. And if anything shows me otherwise, I'll let you know. Very short, very simple, nothing too crazy. I don't expect a whole lot out of the market for the next couple of days. So that's kind of where I stand within dollar. Only other thing I would note is that, yes, we are pushing in, or we have now delivered down into this bullish breaker on the daily, right? We've got a low, a high. We take out the low, we take out the high. We have not been sensitive to it, so it's nothing that is too worrisome for me with regards to price action going lower. It's just something to note. If we do close back above this candle, it's something that I will take into consideration. But we are not there yet, so I'm not going to foresee too much of it. Other than that, that is it for me.
All right. Pretty simple analysis going into the indices the rest of the week. Nothing's really changed. Just continue to move up toward our buy side targets. Is my screen good, Carson? Sweet.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So here on the weekly chart, starting out, you can see we're continuing to displace toward the upside, potentially creating a new weekly BISI right here on the closure of this week. We'll have an inefficiency remaining as long as this doesn't go all the way down here, which is not expected. And continuing to reach out for the buy side, right? So maintaining those same targets above this high here. And then if we do get extended past there, we have the remainder of this weekly SIBI above that. So normally you draw it from this low to this high, but since we've partially redelivered into it right there, I'm taking it from this low to this high instead. There's the remainder of the SIBI. And if we get close, then we can start looking for the bodies up here and then the high. All right, just jumping into a daily chart from here. can see that this week delivered to this high, and now just that weekly high remaining above, and into this right here. I'll mark that out. There, into there, and then Monday this like toward the buy side. Excuse me. Just, any gaps on the they're trading into this one. So all of the candle bodies and wicks are overlapping. Right here, we had an immediate rebalance on the daily, and then working up toward Monday's high, trading through that today. So since we're not creating any new fair value gaps away from this, we could just continue to trudge along toward the buy side up here, working slowly up toward that. We're in very close proximity to it at this point. So it makes sense for a more expedient run up toward there and to return into that weekly inefficiency. But it is important to note that since we're not creating any new daily fair value gaps out of this, there is the possibility that remains that price could return if we get weekly closure like roughly around this area. Price could return back into this daily to reclaim that, or drop under this low as well, because we have a weekly inefficiency that is forming. So you need to remain aware of this going into next week. Okay. One thing we can note here as well is not this week, but last week we got closure above this weekly SIBI right here. So I can mark out the high as well. And that's a potential area we could see as inversion if we do trade back down into this weekly BISI right here. That's pretty much it for ES, just continuing to work up toward the buy side. I don't expect much really out of the rest of the week. We are recording this a bit early. It's only 12:53 Eastern right now, so we still have the PM session ahead of us. So it's possible that we could continue working up back up into the high of the day so far in the afternoon, but we'll just have to see how it plays out going into the rest of the week. And I'll just show NASDAQ quickly as well. Same idea with NASDAQ. Here on the weekly chart, you can see we got pretty clean highs up here on the weekly, and this remaining high right here, which we could see on the monthly as well. Creating a new weekly BISI as well on the closure of this candle. And then same idea here, right? So we traded into the daily BISI right here, but no new fair value gap was created when trading out of that. So if we do area for the remainder of the week, there's a possibility we could return into the weekly SIBI right there. One thing to note as well is just considering how close we are in proximity to the buy side up here, there shouldn't be any reason at this point for price to return all the way down into these lower inefficiencies. If we do, that presents the possibility of a much deeper retracement and leaving equal highs up here for a longer time frame. So close, we could return into this area, but I really wouldn't want to see price go any lower than this inefficiency here. That is it for me. Any last thoughts, Carson?
Nope, I'm good. For the ones that were on the call this morning too, you guys know, I mean, I'm all in line with all this stuff. So nothing new for me. Other than that, that's it, guys. Short and sweet. Hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see y'all. What's our next thing? Not this Sunday, but back
Wednesday.
on Wednesday for next week's midweek market review. All right, we'll see you then, and take care, everyone.
Enjoy.